Today is August 7th, and we are going to get into it. Today, I am reflecting on the idea of business and why that term and that idea is why I don't like it. Okay, so when I hear the word business, and even when I say it, I think the idea of hey, I'm building a business and all of this, it just feels almost disingenuous to me because it's not true that it's disingenuous, but my previous background and context, my experiences have made it that way. I find that when I think of business, I really automatically snap to the idea of big business, where it's like corporations and really kind of trying to extract as much resource from whatever it is that you're doing as possible. And I think that the idea, that term of actual, doing something to make a living and stuff like that and create a business where you can support other people and all of these things is really positive. It's kind of what like a kind of like relational thing that we do in terms of our communities to come together and create things that are useful for other people and provide opportunities for people to operate and thrive. And um, it's almost like a medium to create or a medium to express yourself. But specifically, the term business, when I think about it in terms of creating a business, running a business, becoming an entrepreneur, and doing all of these things, it feels really extractive and exploitative. Um, and maybe that's just my frame. If you feel differently, let me know below down in the comments because I'd love to have your frame on this so that I can process this as I'm moving through this thing that I'm doing. I love the idea of regenerative business. I mentioned this the other day. I think I was filming a half truth video and talking about the book Regenerative Business, written by Sam Garcia. I know that when you search the term regenerative business, there's a lot of different people talking about that as well. And it makes a lot of sense to get back to the natural rhythms of nature. Nature is natural. So everything that we create, if it's not following those rules, it's not that it can't exist. It's not that it's problematic or needs to be destroyed or anything like that. It's just a different option and an option that kind of really goes against the way that the world, being nature, Mother Earth, our universe even operates. For example, in nature, there's natural cycles of ups and downs. I guess like in business terms, you could argue that that also exists, where there's business cycles and businesses that kind of have a growth phase, they thrive, then they plateau, and then they decay and go away. And for a big business like a corporation, it's almost like we never want to see that. If you look at the stock market, you kind of just see this continual upward trend, and maybe that is part of the nature's way. But when you're operating within a environment that growth, only pushes for growth always, and there's no time for rest, it sucks. Like it literally just sucks. I don't have any more eloquent way of putting it. I could make up some words, but it sucks. Because it's so unnatural. It's like, how are you going to just keep on producing day after day after day after day? Um, I don't have I don't have the historical knowledge to point a very specific finger and give you all the background, but think about it in your own personal context. Like, when are you able to produce over and over again? I was having an interesting conversation today with my students who are in the Gen Z generation. And it's interesting to kind of hear their perspective on things, right? They have one of the insights was like, yeah, it just always feels like need to be doing something, need to be productive. And that really is the illusion, the distortion of our times, that you always need to be productive. Like, why in the middle of winter is it so important to get to work on time? Like, sure, you might be doing a very important job. Maybe you work in healthcare and you work in a hospital, and yeah, that's like people need certain things. Okay. The whole idea, the whole healthcare system is a whole other thing. Like, are we actually providing healthcare or is it sick care? But we're not going to dive into that today. That's not the point of this. How important is it to get somewhere on time in the middle of winter? Like when the snow is coming down like mad and you can't even get to the bottom of your driveway because there's so much snow. Does that not mean maybe it's time to rest? Maybe if you have built something that's so fragile that it must require constant maintenance to maintain, and if you don't maintain it for a second, it's gone. Like, what kind of um, structure have you built, right? When I'm looking, the more that I learn about this idea of regenerative gardening or lazy gardening, um, to look at nature's garden, like forests and natural landscapes, they almost tend themselves because it's a whole ecosystem. New growth grows and it spreads in places because there's a network, a whole community of support that exists there. So in forests, for example, and geez, I'm like talking all about like gardening and soil and stuff like that. I will just disclaimer, I'm go find a better video if you want to learn about this. I can like message me and I'll let you know. But my understanding of it is like there's billions and billions of like microorganisms and things in soil the way that it's meant to be. And if you just look at soil as something dead, something that is to be like tilled and used and then just exploited, it just gets really not good. Oops. But then when you go into looking at like really healthy soil, all the structures that are built up there are meant to help maintain through all the different things you might experience as you go through like day-to-day life. So for example, you have a drought, the forest can maintain through that. You have really hot weather, you have really cold weather, it can maintain that. And then, of course, there's seasons. There's spring when there's new growth and things start to spread, and um, it's like a new start. You have summer where you have abundant resources. The sun is coming down. Maybe there's water and drought. I don't know. But, anyways, it's just a metaphor. Don't worry about it. And then you get into fall where things start to slow down, and then winter where it's like kind of time for rest. So yeah, we are not uh, Earth. We are not nature. So our cycles are not 365 days. You don't need to wait 365 days to rest. You don't need to wait 365 days to slow down. You don't need to wait 365 days to produce. But to do any one of those things every single day, year after year, day after day, is exhausting. Like, are you not exhausted just listening to it? And I am as well. So then, where does this leave me in terms of this, right? I don't know yet. I think that one of the things is just thinking about how to discuss this process that's happening right now. Ideally, what I would love to see happen is to be able to share a field with you, whether it's an ethereal field, whether it's a actual field. I mean, like, wouldn't that be fun to have a retreat in a field? Although, like, the sun would be beating down on us and all of these things. Maybe a forest retreat would be interesting. It's like people who go forest bathing and get all that, all the fields from there. So then I'm thinking about like how to structure and build this business and make it something that's not like, hey, I'm looking to extract something out of you and I'll give you this little thing. Like it feels like that. Like I'll give you this little thing so that I can get the most of out of you. And I would much prefer to have a an environment where it's almost like a two-way street. So I think what happens is a lot of times we are drawn to things that seem like solutions for things we're moving away from. And we move away from things when we are afraid. So if we're operating from that lens of fear, we move away from something, and then um, you see an ad, you see like some type of marketing that says, this is the solution for you. And then you go and buy it. And it might help. It might be a quick solution. It might be something that helps in the short term. But then maybe it's not long lasting. Like that change doesn't necessarily stick. So, in all the work that I'm doing here, I'm beginning to conceptualize all of this work as creating an environment or an ecosystem where others can kind of find me. It's like plants that are looking for the right nutrients. And if this feeds you, if this feeds your body, your mind, your soul, I, I did fingers off camera. Did you see? I, if this feeds your body, your mind, or your soul, then welcome. You are here in the Haizhen field, and we're going to chill and hang out. And I would love to nourish you, to provide you with the sustenance to get to where you're going. And what am I good at? Well, that's a whole other thing. Like, if I could just spit it out at you, then I would probably be really good at marketing what I'm doing right now. But really, what I'm doing is the process. This is the process. And I think what's challenging is I feel like I'm on the edge of grasping something that's beyond words right now. Because there's not, maybe there's a vocabulary for it, and that could just expose my ignorance. And that's fine. I would love to hear that as well. If you feel like I'm being ignorant, please let me know down below in the comments. Um, what I'm looking to do is actually build something that feels right. That feels right not just for me, but for everyone else that I would interact with. That kind of like very transactional exchange has always been challenging for me to notice and understand, especially in the field that I work in terms of healthcare, where our business is the service of people. So I'm here to serve. That is that is my purpose, to serve through providing knowledge, and not just knowledge, but providing it in a way that's easily digestible that you can take into your life today and do something with and change. So I'm kind of in the space of like looking and re-looking at the way that I'm interacting with this business. And I think that it's two things. One is the process is important to continue through and to continue to do things like this. And then the other part of it is to stop worrying so much about the structure of how things look and actually just begin to tend the field in a way that will encourage new growth. One small win for me, and maybe it's a big win, is that I noticed that my YouTube subscriber count has increased. It went from 7 to 9. I'm like, like, who are these people? If you are one of those 2 subscribers that subscribe, this is August 7th, so we're probably around log like number like 30 something, 40 something. And this one that I'm recording is in the 50s now. So in a couple of days, if you have seen this all the way through, I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for seeing me and for clicking that like button or clicking the subscribe button. That will help me get to the people that I'm looking to get to. So, subscribers, you are now part of this field. That's an interesting thought. I've had many, many thoughts today. So I'm going to stop here and wrap up and get on another one because if you remember, I'm a couple days behind. So I'm not behind. I'm exactly where I need to be. So I'm going to keep on going. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your attention. I'll see you in the field.